Time for more Arthas Super Dickery in Chapter 2, Digging Up the Dead. If you have any familiarity with the dead, you should understand that that is not what you're supposed to do with them. The next morning on the outskirts of Anderhall...
What the hell is that?
This crude contraption will allow you to transport the remains of our master.
Can you not simply raise the remains when we find them?
Pardon, Lord, but a being of Kel'Thuzad's power can only be reanimated at a nexus of powerful ley energies, and there are no such places in this land.
Very well then. Let's move out.
I do not remember this mission whatsoever. Okay, so I thought that we were going to be actually building a base, but I appear to be wrong in that aspect. So we have meat wagons. Meat wagons are able to store corpses for later use, as you can see, but you're probably like, what the hell, what does that even mean? Well, I'm going to tell you what that means. See, these guys, they can cannibalize, and they don't have to just eat, like, their friends' corpses or whatever, but they can eat any corpses. So if we want to heal these people, which is, by the way, what cannibalizing them does, then we can either use our death coil, or we can just use the corpses stored in the meat wagons. And we also are supposedly using them to store the body of Kel'Thuzad eventually. I think we need to actually recover them first, if I remember the plot particularly well. Now, something that I'm doing that's kind of dumb is I'm just kind of meleeing with my ghouls at the same time that I'm meat wagoning other my opponents, and that's not really a good idea.
Stop this madness before it's too late.
Stand aside, brother. I've come to collect some old bones and I don't wish to be disturbed.
Yeah, get out of here, Gavin the Rat, or whatever your name was. Anyway, meat wagons deal splash damage, meaning that when they hit a melee unit, all my melee units that are currently fighting it are going to get hit with gross corpsey, damagey ouchness. And you can see, basically, I have all this damage distributed across my entire melee forces right now. I think that there were some corpses around here from those dead. There is, but whatever. I got some time. You go over here and you cannibalize so that we can see what that's all like. Yeah. See, he just gets his super claws and he's like, I'm gonna eat you. And then that healthy right there, that ticks all the way up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Having destroyed the champions of peace, or whoever those guys were. Champions of peace. I was right.
This is more like it.
Okay, we're going to send out a ghoul, goad the footmen into attack. Oh, that works as well. But I want to go ahead and fight in such a way that I don't have to speak. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on, ghoul. I don't have to deal with the towers at the same time. Let's be smart and have the meat wagons actually focused down on the buildings instead of on these melee people. And to do that, I'm going to put the meat wagons into a different controller group entirely. Let's remove them from this group and have them immediately launch into fighting. And I think that killed one of my ghouls, actually. That's okay.
You've made a mockery of the Silver Hand.
The Silver Hand is all the Paladin's order, by the way. So his corpse flew up like that. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but usually when that happens, it means that the enemies have a altar that they can use to resurrect all their hero units at. But I don't think we're going to really run into that. What we do need to do is walk over like 10 feet and get into the circle of power. So we will just let these buildings be and eventually select Arthas. I couldn't click on it for some reason. And we walk them into here. Cutscene.
Come along now, Necromancer. The powers that you once served have need of you again.
Told you, my death would mean little.
What the? Am I hearing ghosts now?
It is I, Kel'Thuzad. I was right about you, Prince Arthas.
It took you long enough. These remains are badly decomposed. They will never survive the trip to Quel'Thalas.
Quel'Thalas?
Yes. Only the energies of the High Elves' Sunwell can bring Kel'Thuzad back to life.
Then what must be done?
You must steal a very special urn from the Paladin's keeping. Place the necromancer's remains within it, and he will be well protected for the journey.
As you wish.
I wish only to
Oh yeah, here we go. This is the part I remember. We get a actual base building segment going on now. So let's go ahead and make a base. First thing we're going to do is throw down a necropolis.
Undead must haunt the gold mine before the acolytes can begin harvesting gold.
Okay, haunt that gold mine. So we're going to make a necropolis, which is our town hall. We use that to build more of these acolytes, who are the basic workers. And the cool thing about the undead race is that they don't have to actually construct something. They just tell it where you want it, and it appears there.
Blight is created when undead structures are summoned. Buildings can only be summoned onto Blight, with the exception of the necropolis.
Okay, well thank you for explaining that. So as you can see around this building and this building, the ground's kind of all grossity crackety. And once this finishes summoning, the whole area around it's going to become super grossity crackety. And what that basically does is it allows us to build units on top of that, as well as build buildings on top of that. And as you can see, if I try to build it on just normal ground, it's like, nah, you can't do it. Also, units can recover their health very slowly if they're just chilling out on top of it.
Summoning is complete.
Oh yeah, look at all that gross, crackety super ground. We're gonna build now things called ziggurats. Ziggurats are the farms.
When standing on Blight, wounded undead units
Yeah, I already
regenerate
explained
faster.
that. Okay, so ziggurats are basically farms. We need a bunch of them to get up to an actual usable food count, and they are also defensive structures. So we're going to build a lot of them, and we're going to build them pretty close to the front lines over here, by this cornfield, I guess.
Where shall my blood be
So,
spilled?
in terms of lore, if you don't remember, Kel'Thuzad was the necromancer guy that we were trying to track down at the very beginning of the game. And we initially thought that he was the super evil, but it turns out that Prince Arthas was the super evil all along. But now he's back, and he's going to be our little buddy, our little travel companion for a little while. The the acolytes, I got them confused with necromancers, which are a spellcaster unit, they basically just chill out next to the gold mine and harvest the gold. So you really only need to make 5 acolytes ever, because after you're done using one to summon buildings, you can just send it back into the gold mine. And I say 5 because you do definitely need 5 at all times to get the maximum amount of efficiency with your gold harvesting. If I remove this guy, the little 10s don't appear quite as often as they should, and then I end up being a little bit more poor.
Is complete. Yes.
The flip side of that, you saw this in the previous mission, is that they cannot harvest lumber. Instead, we use ghouls for that.
Summoning the graveyard will
get
supply the undead army with fresh corpses.
Where shall my blood be spilled?
Yeah, graveyards are very interesting. I'll explain them in a little bit. But I want to... Oh, I summoned a crypt, not a graveyard here. Well, that's fine. Anyway, yeah, so we have ghouls instead for harvesting lumber. They go over and cannibalize the trees, I guess, and they do it a little bit slowlier. But they are also very useful on base defense. Well, let's start getting our troops all figured out. There appears to be a path down here, and this mission is... I remember the gist of it, but I really am fading on almost all the details. I think over here is where all the humans are, as you can see by their town. And down over here there's some, there's some golems and some creeps and stuff.
Finally.
Let's definitely kill some of these golems, despite the fact that they are pretty wicked tough at level 6. And I also cannot use Death Coil on them because...
For the undead army.
Yeah. Because they're made out of rocks, and rocks can't die. They can just become broken rocks and turn into gold, just like that. Wow, this map is pretty strange looking, like this terrain. I guess it's suggesting that I go this direction, and that leads to a little town. Kinda should have seen that coming. Well, at any rate, let's continue to explore around this area, hunt a couple more golems. I assume that if I do enough killing around here, I'll eventually get a cool item for all my killing efforts. Now that I've got some really good amount of gold going, let's get a graveyard, which will also be where our ghouls harvest, or return the lumber when they're harvesting them. And we are also in somewhat of a bind. Oops, we lost a ghoul there.
No one orders me.
Who gives a crap? In that we have really no base defenses right now, except for those lucky few ghouls that we had. We can eventually upgrade these to spirit towers, and let's go ahead and upgrade to the Halls of the Dead, which is just going to give us a couple more units, but most importantly, it turns this building into a giant tower as well, which will afford us some very convenient early defenses. I think that... Oh, okay.
At last.
Interesting, this little clearing. I think that if I get a meat wagon over here and I knock down some of these trees, there will probably be an item behind them. And I got nothing else going on, so we'll just send one of our catapults over here. Oops. Oh. Hi, bro. Okay. This just got a little bit more intense than I expected it might. Well then, we are currently doing pretty poorly, so we're gonna run away. Yes, that will be definitely the plan here. That thing just kind of completely kicked our asses. It's level 9 though, and Arthas is level 2, so that should give you a pretty good sense of where things are going in terms of that sort of power dynamic, I guess you could call it. Let's upgrade these spirit towers to get some extra oomph. And let's replenish our army just a tad, because we sort of got our asses completely handed to us.
Where shall my blood be spilled?
What buildings do I eventually get? I get a slaughterhouse. That's extremely useful. Slaughterhouse will allow us to build a couple more catapults. But I think that we're pretty much limited to just a lot of ghouls, a lot of Arthas, and a lot of catapults. While these guys are here, let us use an acolyte to repair both this building and these meat wagons. And let's also use the the graveyard to upgrade a couple of things that'll be very helpful, like some extra damage for our basically one unit that we have access to, and some extra defense for that very same unit.
Tread lightly.
Not a whole lot of variety going on in this early mission, I guess, but I think that's just kind of teaching you the ropes of how to undead like a true champion, or at least somebody who doesn't suck too badly. Tell you what, while I replenish my forces, because not a whole lot's going to really happen right now, because I've pretty much reached the end of the tech tree for this game. For this mission, I mean, it looks like all I'm doing is just amassing a whole bunch of ghouls for the rest of the mission. Yeah, so that's not really all that exciting. So I'm just going to cut until I have a respectably large granite golem killing, human base killing super army of ghouls. It'll be enough to make Michael Jackson either jealous or scared, or
where shall
some
my
sort
blood
of
be spilled?
thing that makes a lot more sense. Alright, cut. And fight that granite golem. He's gonna kick our ass. He's got this massive area of effect spell that is just wrecking all of my ghouls. Well, that's okay. I have a bit of a food problem anyway, so no reason to really keep a whole bunch of extra ghouls around anyway. I should be using these catapults to go ahead and fight this granite golem. I think because of the size of the granite golem, if I use the meat wagons to fight it, it won't actually do any extra damage to my melee units. So that gave us a Pendant of Energy, which is not really that good of an item whatsoever. Pendant of Energy just gives us a little bit of extra mana. Actually, it's a fair bit more than a little bit. From 270 up to 420. That's the best. Okay.
This is more
I think that there's definitely a little bit of hidden gooditude over here. Let's attack around those trees. Any sort of thing where you see like ramps and trees on those ramps means that there's basically some sort of secret area in the general vicinity. Okay, that appears to have not been a secret area. There really aren't a whole lot of purposes to the secret areas in this game. Sometimes you'll see like a odd drawing, I guess. But usually there's not really anything going on there. They're just kind of fun to find. And
what is it now?
Well, okay, I won't spoil it, but sometimes there are hidden units that are a bit novel, and sometimes they're ridiculously overpowered. When we get really far into the game, we're going to see an example of such a unit, and it's, well, we'll just see it when it happens.
No one orders me around.
Alright, enough farting around. Let's get this queue of ghouls up, and we'll put them on Arthas so they always just go there. And let's kill this dog, and let's kill the humans. Eventually, when the rest of my army decides to show up. They are slow. Okay, enough of that. Yes, everyone be afraid. It's Arthas here to kill the peasants. They are not being too afraid of me. Well, that's okay. Okay, so thing about him is he's invincible. Not like it's gonna help him that much. I will just wait until that invincibility wears off. But not really a whole lot to this fight. It's kind of attack. And okay, now he's in trouble.
Vile betrayer! You are not fit enough to even carry your father's name. Why Uther ever vouched for you is beyond me.
Pretty interesting that he was able to get that entire sentence just before dying, but it appears that he still had some stuff to say. Oh well. I assume it wasn't that important. It was probably just like, you are bad, and you should feel bad about being bad, because that is a bad thing that you have done. I think that... Oh, okay. Well, there is at least a solitary footman. Oh, okay, now we're talking. Yes. I think that's just the attack force of the blue army. I don't think that that's going to trigger their base too much, except for that knight, who appears to just be patrolling. Okay, so we're not going to deal with them. But we do need to make sure that we kill this barracks now, because as you can see, with its doors open and its shimmering, blinding super light of footmen eminently appearing, they're going to keep making units and trying to kill my base. And I don't really want to deal with that. I do not need to kill those farms, though. I'm going to go over to this grave site, though, just because that seems kind of appropriate. Okay, well, I guess there's really nothing to that grave site.
This is more like it.
I thought that maybe a special unit would appear or something like that if I dragged Arthas over there. But I suppose that it's just a peasant's grave and not a superhero's super grave or anything like that. Gonna drop a potion of healing really quick to pick up this potion of mana, in theory.
What is it now?
Theory.
No one orders me around.
Also, this knight is really stupid. Okay, but I'll just immediately use the potion of mana because Arthas was really low on mana, and that's just a quick way to boost that up without using an inventory slot too much. Running really low on some ghouls' healths, but who cares about the ghouls? They are extremely unimportant. Their feelings are, you know, ghoulish or some sort of line. Wow, I feel bad about that one. But to compensate, we're going to get back on topic, get some ziggurats going, upgrade those ziggurats, and start kicking some peasant ass. Because that's basically going to be the theme of these early undead missions. Killing peasants and kicking their asses just up and down.
Your betrayal has broken Uther's heart, boy. He would have given his life for yours in a second. And this is how you repay his loyalty? Speak, fool.
Okay, well that guy, I let him speak the whole time instead. Let's hit him with a nuke. I don't believe that he has any sort of invincibility spells on him, so yeah, there we are. Oh, Gloves of Haste, that's really a good item. Yeah, that's a really nice item. It makes whoever equips it a lot faster at attacking, and I think it also boosts their movement speed, but that's kind of something you would expect from Boots of Haste. I don't know. At any rate, we're probably not going to need the Scroll of Healing, so we'll just dump it now. And make sure that the ghouls are sufficiently hauling ass over to Arthas, which they appear to be doing. I can't really see the ghouls in the control group because they just follow Arthas. They don't actually get grouped up with him. But as long as they're there and fighting and following Arthas, they will be pretty much precisely where they need to be. Again, we're going to need to kill this here barracks to make sure that we don't deal with blue people trying to kill my town. Not like they're going to probably do a particularly good job of it at any rate. But, oh well, still got to do it. Just make sure that all of my undead people stay undead instead of dead. Oh, here's Uther, by the way.
Your father ruled this land for 70 years, and you've ground it to dust in a matter of days.
Very dramatic, Uther. Give me the urn, and I'll make sure you die quickly.
The urn holds your father's ashes, Arthas. What? Were you hoping to piss on them one last time before you left his kingdom to rot?
I didn't know what it held. Nor does it matter. I'll take what I came for one way or another.
Arthas, you're such a dick, bro. You're gonna fight Uther? Uther's the Lightbringer. That's so... and he's gonna... It's got your father's ashes, man. What the hell? Oh well. Whatever. Gotta just do what the game tells us to do and kick Uther's ass. I told you. Arthas is just gonna be a super dick for the next, like, 12 missions. Well, while we're screwing around, I'm gonna kill these horses. I don't remember if there's any purpose to killing the horses. I just remember doing it as a kid. I think that... Did they drop an item? I don't know. Well, I think nuking the horse with the spell was probably not the best use of my mana. But, oh well. So Uther has sufficiently destroyed all of those things, but... whatever. Oh, he healed that footman right before. Aw, that was a dick move, bro. Oh, that's a dick move, bro. Why are you doing that sort of stuff? Well, while we're doing this, let's throw on Unholy Aura again. I may not have enough ghouls to actually kill Uther's forces here. But slowly but surely. Okay, yeah, I don't think I have nearly enough. Because Uther just keeps on healing them. That's super uncool. Okay, that's better. Yeah, as you can see with Arthas's Gloves of Haste, he's pondering way less often before actually hitting somebody. And now we all have to just wait around for that invincible glowy halo to go away. Like that. Let's hit him with a nuke. And that did hardly any damage whatsoever. Okay, that's fun. He is just kicking those ghouls' asses. Well, whatever. As long as the ghouls are getting their asses kicked instead of Arthas. I could always just make an
Where
altar,
shall my blood be spilled?
which I may have to do unless I'm careful.
Will be done.
But that's probably not going to happen, considering the fact that I have no ghouls, like, even queued up. Goes to show, not really taking Uther all that seriously while I kick his ass. But, oh, now we can fight him again. Excellent.
Last.
He's down to half health. He's pretty damn tough. 1200 HP with Devotion Aura. 12.5 armor is really high in this game. I mean, that's more than double what I have with Arthas. I think that gives him a lot of just like not only percentage off, but also you have to deal a certain minimum amount of damage for it to even register a single point. So that, I mean, the number, it seems really small because we're used to, I don't know, bigger numbers or whatever, but it adds up really, really fast with the way they've done everything here.
Summoning is complete. This is more like it.
Well, everyone's dead but Uther, and I have a couple more ghouls coming. Oh, come on!
Finally.
He must have like some sort of mana regenerating item or something, because he just seems to have basically unlimited spellcasting abilities. Then he's also level 10, and level 10's really powerful.
Frostmourne hungers.
Well, looks like I could have done basically nothing if I came over here. But I can kill Kenshin,
No one orders
who I guess is probably a developer or somebody like that. Otherwise, why would they be in this game? I don't know if the sheep are named. Nope, sheep aren't named.
Fool. Frostmourne hunger.
Have I showed off the exploding sheep yet? If you click on the sheep enough, eventually, what will happen is that they explode to a nuclear bomb. That's been a staple of the Warcraft series, I think ever since the first one.
At last.
And you can also do other sorts of things, but I will only do them while I'm waiting for things like Uther's invulnerability to die off. And again, I use the nuke on him, but the nuke doesn't do a damn thing because he has 42% damage reduction. It's really high. Well, I don't know exactly why or how he's so tough. Oh, come on. He has 13 health left. And I've already shown off the exploding sheep thing. What else can I do? What do you want from me, Uther?
What is it now?
Speaking of Warcraft 2, Uther was in Warcraft 2. He was awesome in Warcraft 2. Now he's dead.
I dearly hope that there's a special place in hell waiting for you, Arthas.
We may never know, Uther. I intend to live forever.
Alright, so we just pick up the Urn of King Tyrannus. His name was Arthas Tyrannus?
Me around.
What a weird name.
Excellent work. Now your journey to Quell Thalos can begin.
Tell him nothing. Only you can hear me. The Dread Lords cannot be trusted. They are the Lich King's jailers. I will tell you all when I walk this world again.
Alright, we put a ghost in a bottle, and now we learned that the people that look like Satan apparently aren't the most trustworthy. But, you know, who saw that coming? Or who didn't see it coming? I don't know, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, thanks for watching.